Hey, good morning. It's Dr. James. I do hope and pray this message finds you and your loved ones peaceful, thriving, and well. And this morning's message is directed deep inside of you where your inner activist lives. And I believe all of us right now are experiencing a level of discomfort that is absolutely necessary to wake us up from our self-imposed slumber party. I don't know about you, but as you look around the world, you find yourself finding more and more of yourself, your deep inner spiritual self saying, I need to do more. I need to be more of an activist. I need to be more of a way shower. I need to be more of a healing agent for change. And I want to share this morning the science behind what I love to say is spiritual activism. And I'm going to share with you four principles that you can activate today that are as much spiritual as they are scientific. They're as powerful as they are contagious in the most beautiful way. This is how I think every single one of us needs to really look deep within ourselves and say, what is mine to do right now? Because I know I need to do more than I am presently doing. But I'm not sure how to go about and activate change. I'm not sure how I go out in the world and be that change. Well, the most beautiful thing about change and activism is that your self-love, literally the self that you care for so deeply with compassion and love and deep, deep intention, is probably your most powerful form of social activism. And the most beautiful thing is you don't even have to open your mouth. You just have to show up. And what's so beautiful is that when you show up, knowing that your inner work has been done before you go out in the world, it does set forth a contagion. And what's so powerful about this, it's an intrinsic motivation, meaning that the work that you do every single morning between moving your body, meditating, affirming, visualizing, all the stuff that you do as your pre-game activity before you go out in the big game out there in the world where you want to show and present this possibility is created each and every morning before you even leave your home. And what happens is that people can tell. Anyone who lays eyes on you can feel your peace. They can feel your presence. They can feel your courage. Because your compassion for yourself, your love and your dedication for doing your inner work is one of the most palpable things that actually is transmitted from brain to brain, physiology to physiology, spirit to spirit, quantum energetic field to the other quantum energetic field that we all hold in common. And what's so incredible about this, it leads to the second piece, which is emotional contagion. And emotional contagion is literally when you go out in the world and you know that your zeal for what it is that you want to do with your life, how you want to show up, how you want to make your presence visible without the ego. Remember, the intrinsic motivation leaves the ego behind. So it's a palpable difference to anyone who actually is engaging with you. Even from a distance, they feel it. And that emotional contagion is about you not being afraid to smile, not being afraid to carry that energy, not being afraid to hold yourself strong, open yourself up and let your physiology shift, because that physiology is what makes emotional contagion happen. And that right there is one of the most beautiful blessings we can ever have. How you open yourself up versus close yourself down creates emotional contagion. And science tells us when we're around people who are open, people who make eye contact, people who are not afraid to lean in to every single relationship, whether it's from a distance by making eye contact, whether it's being a great listener when we win someone close, all of those experiences are the thing that actually create an elevation in moral behavior. We raise each other just by being with one another, seeing one another, leaning into one another. Thirdly, what happens around emotional contagion leads to what it is that we just expressed, moral contagion. Moral elevation is that when we lead our life as a leader who carries hope, who carries love, who carries light, we can't help but want to follow those people. You know, it's interesting right now, right? Because we're wondering where the leaders are. And if we didn't give our permission away to ask ourselves for someone else to do the leading, but instead chose ourselves to do the leading, then we become moral elevators. Moral elevators is all about the idea that you know that each and every day, your great big job description, the thing that you signed up for, the work that you know is in your heart, is all about being a pollinator of hope, doing it from a deep space of grace. And lastly, And this is probably the hardest one of all. Sometimes we go out in the world and we're more like a thermometer. We feel what's going on, the temperature of the world, and then we will dim or lower our temperature, lower ourselves to actually meet what's happening outside. We gotta get committed to the idea of what's happening inside and how we want to show up, and then we bring that light outside. We need to be the thermometer. We need to set the temperature. And the temperature needs to be love. It needs to be compassion. It needs to be hope. It needs to be inclusivity. It needs to be transformation. You never should ever dim your light to make the world more comfortable. You brighten your light and make the world beautifully uncomfortable until they eventually follow, emulate, and want to be more like the leader that you have shown up to be. The beautiful leader who leads with love. Thank you. Much love and every blessing. Have a beautiful day. Bye for now.